My name is Danielle Allen, and welcome to my presentation on antisocial behavior and the intervention we are going to use. So, what are antisocial behaviors? Antisocial behaviors refer to any activity which conflicts with social norms. And the CDC reported that 1 in 6 US children aged 2 to 8 are diagnosed with a mental behavior or developmental disorder. So, this is a rising problem that we are seeing in schools. And these behaviors within the classroom can present themselves with aggressive behavior towards others and peers, injuring others, oppositional defiance disorder, destroying classroom property, and poor communication skills for expressing needs, emotions, and frustrations. And antisocial behaviors can impact a student's ability to learn. So often disruptive young people are placed in timeout, receive more office referrals, spend more time in responsibility rooms, and are more often suspended. All of these consequences contribute to less learning time, which contributes strongly to poor performance. And if students are losing that foundational skill, they are going to be frustrated when the content is just too hard for them because they don't have that basis. So more adverse behaviors will present themselves. And uncontrolled behavior adversely affects a child's ability to concentrate, stick on task, and complete homework. So the relationship between antisocial behavior and poor academics is strong. And what influences this antisocial behavior? When children are in higher levels of classroom aggression, they are at an increased risk of higher levels of aggression strategies. They're using aggressive fantasies and they have hostile attitudes. So the higher level of classroom aggression will even impact their future behavior, even if they are not the students showing that behavior at first. So how are we going to combat this in our school? Well, classroom aggression in first grade boys has been shown to increase the boys' risk for being aggressive in middle school, and boys in highly aggressive first grade classrooms were much higher at risk for aggressive behavior 6 or 7 years later. So this intervention program will target a universal early approach with first grade students and develop school competencies, the concept of self, connectedness, coping ability, and control, otherwise known as the 5 C's. And the impacts, like if we do not impact these uh, or help these children with intervention with disruptive and aggressive behavior in early elementary school, they are at an increased risk for academic failure in their future, peer rejection, substance abuse, and delinquency as they continue to grow up. And who are the children that are the most at risk? Students with aggressive behaviors live in poverty, witness aggressive behavior in the family and neighborhood, and it is said that society, community, and neighborhood are viewed as remote predecessors of antisocial and delinquent behavior, family, school, and peer influence as well as individual characteristics of youth will all contribute to this problem. And when we are looking at the model, there's the direct effect model, which is the one we are going to focus on today to help to make sure that our students in our school are not having adverse childhood experiences that will lead to these aggressive antisocial behaviors because we cannot directly influence the family factors. So how are we going to do this? We are going to focus on the 5 C's and growing those in the classroom with our social skills curriculum piece. The 5 C's are critical school competencies or like basic abilities to reading, writing, and math. And then there's the survival skills of raising your hand, learning how to listen to others, sharing your opinion. Then there's the concept of self. How do you like how you are? Do you like your characteristics? Do you feel valued? Do you value yourself? Then there is connectedness, and that's the ability to communicate with others, form interpersonal relationships with your teachers and your peers. And if students don't have that, they're not going to want to try. They're going to feel just bad and not want to do any of the work. Coping ability, that will be how you handle big emotions like stress and frustration, anger, fear. And we want to work on giving these students the skills needed to cope with those big emotions. And finally, that is control. And that is the ability to have some choice in the decisions in your life. So we are going to add a social curriculum program that will teach students the coping mechanisms for emotion, increase these social skills, provide strong interpersonal relationships with staff, And by targeting these areas, we hope to maximize the growth of the students' 5 Cs, which will positively impact the students' development and future behaviors. So by doing this, first, the teacher will form these positive teacher and peer relationships, which will increase connectedness. This will be done with whole group discussions, working together on little skits. And then by doing this, it'll help create a sense of connectedness, and the teacher can learn more about the student as well and make more targeted intervention after learning the backgrounds of the child. Next, we will work on the core value instruction. And when we are working with the core value instruction, that will be working on learning things like respect, encouragement, gratitude, integrity, compassion, self-control, courage, and perseverance. Students will learn the definition of the word, what it looks like to show it, what it sounds like when you show it, and how we can show these virtues in our life and why it's important to do so. This will be done by doing various hands-on activities, skits, play-based stuff, other things, all these ways to engage with the concepts. And the children can choose which way they want to engage, which helps grow their sense of control. These activities will also help build up the basic school competencies and academic survival skills with the different engagement pieces. And the teacher will give more positive praise when they are witnessing the child show these virtues just organically, normally in the classroom, which will help build the concept of self. To develop our coping abilities, students will role play and engage in various real life scenarios that cause these big emotions that they feel, and they'll learn different coping strategies to deal with them. They'll learn the names of the emotions, how they make them feel, and to use words to express those emotions. Then they will learn strategies like box breathing, taking a break, conflict resolution skills and language, problem solving, positive affirmations, and using fidgets and stress balls as a tool. The teacher will continue to remind students of these strategies during the day as support when needed to help internalize these on the student's mind. The teacher will also allow students to choose the way that they cope, and that gives more sense of control as well. Oops. So next, we will work on helping students learn coping with conflict resolution by giving the students the language and how to engage with one another with just using your words to express your frustration and needs. And it is shown that interpersonal problem solving is the ability is related to interpersonal functions in adults, adolescents, middle childhood, and children as young as 4, and they develop this in early grades. So it's a critical piece of our intervention to teach conflict resolution. And they will also gain empowerment by learning how to effectively stand up for themselves and express themselves with language that will continue to help grow their self-concept. To evaluate our success, we will track the trend of behaviors in the classroom, see if the levels of student referrals and suspensions in that classroom have gone down since the intervention has started. Then we'll look and compare it to a neighboring community school that's not using this program and see if there has been a change in how our students are effectively using the skills being taught. Next, this is the Piers-Harris Children's Self-Concept Scale. The children will do this before the program starts, and it'll give us a basis of how they feel about themselves. And then we will keep that and compare it to the students completing this at the end of the school year to see if there's been a growth in their self-concept. And finally, we will use the Children's Behavior Questionnaire parent version, and the parents will again fill this out at the beginning of the program, and then we will fill it out again at the end, and we could see if there's been growth and change within the family structure to see if these strategies are continuing to work at home. Thank you so much for listening to my presentation, and I appreciate it.